Hurricane Ian ranked as the state's costliest hurricane with a price tag of $109 billion. And many residents now wonder if the state's insurance companies can sustain claims from the latest storm and those yet to come.
All right, so joining us exclusively this morning to help answer those major concerns of Florida residents is Republican Senator Rick Scott.
Yes, Senator Scott, thanks so much for being with us today. We do appreciate your time. I want to get right to it in the interest of time. Following Hurricane Idalia, many Floridians, they're currently relying on insurance to help rebuild, right? But can these companies bear the weight of so many claims? Not to mention that FEMA is on the brink of bankruptcy, creating more concern that residents really are not going to get the coverage they desperately need.
Well, I dealt with this when I first became governor back in January of 2011. If you remember back then, we'd had the storms in the 04, 05 era. And so a lot of companies like State Farm had left the state. So what I did is I went sat down with State Farm. I sat down with the insurance companies. I said, what changes do we have to do to make sure that you can do business in Florida so we could expand our insurance market? And we did. We brought a lot of companies into the state. On top of that, we took Citizens Insurance, which had become it was supposed to be the insurer of last resort and become the insurer of first resort, not a fully funded insurance product. We took it from 1.5 million policies down to 400,000 policies, and we fully funded it in the CAP fund. So what's going to happen is this is a state issue with regard to property insurance. Now, at the federal level, what I've been trying to do, and I focused on this while I was governor, and I've been doing it up here, is national flood insurance is not fair to Florida. We've been a donor state since the beginning. Our rates should be coming down if you're a donor state rather than going up. So the way to do that is we got to build a private insurance market, but the National Flood Insurance Program, the federal government has tried to prevent that and make sure Florida remains as a donor state and keeps raising our rates. So that's what I'm focused on there. Third, on disaster relief, we've got to fully fund FEMA. I talked to President Biden about that when I met with him on Saturday. I have a bill. We've got to get that done. We shouldn't be tying it to Ukraine aid and anything else. We've got to make sure the federal government does their part.
You touched on a big question I think a lot of people have is bringing more insurance companies into the state of Florida, because let's face it, a lot of insurance companies, they've done this. They've raised the insurance rates. You can't afford them, forcing people to dump that insurance company and go with Citizens. So bringing in 4 or 5 new insurance companies, is that going to create the competition you're looking for and competitive rates?
I think it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot of insurance companies. But the other thing you got to do is we've got to figure out what is causing our rates to go up. Often it's people that are abusing the system. So we've got to make sure there's no abuse in the system, because if somebody is able to get a claim paid that was not really supposed to be covered, then that's going to cause your insurance to go up. So we've got to make sure there's no fraud and abuse in the system. And that's what we had to do back in 2011 when I came in. We had to stop all that. And they've got to do it. They got to focus on that right now at the state level.
Well, we know that you recently met with President Biden about the Federal Disaster Responsibility Act. If signed, what will this do for residents right here in this state?
Well, it's going to be 3 things. Number one, we'll fully fund FEMA, so they'll know that FEMA has the resources to be a partner. Now, after a disaster, FEMA is a partner at the federal level, the state's a partner, local government's a partner. Then you've got to watch you got to watch and spend some of your money, unfortunately. Second, our farming industry our ag industry has really gotten hurt. Historically, we've been able to get block grants for industries like our citrus industry. Now the federal Secretary of Agriculture, Vilsack, says, well, we can't do that anymore unless you get a federal law passed that allows us to do that. So I'm working on that. And then third, I think you ought to be able to get a bigger tax reduction if you have hurricane losses. That's true for the wildfires in Hawaii, true with the flooding in Illinois. So I have a bill that would say that you would get, if you have losses, you'll be able to take a tax write-off. We've done this in the past with Irma, with Harvey and others, so we ought to be able to do that again.
All right, Senator, we can't let you go without asking you this question here. Your colleague, Mitch McConnell, 81 years old. Dianne Feinstein, she's 90 years old. You got the President Biden. People are questioning his age. Should there be term limits? Should there be physicals, mandatory physicals, once you reach a certain age?
Well, I clearly believe in term limits. I've been campaigning on term limits. As you know, we have them in Florida. I believe in them. Unfortunately, I've not been able to get that passed up here. I've tried hard, but I think we ought to have term limits. And I'm okay whatever it is. Probably the right term is 12 years to be able to serve. I think you ought to come up here, serve your time, go back to a normal job.
What about mandatory physicals?
I think, you know, I'm fine with, you know, physicals. Of course I get a couple physicals a year. So I think you know, you've got to understand, you got to be able to do this job.
Right.
So, but I think the right thing is to do term limits.
Yeah, I think the concern, though, is even with the term limit, you have Mitch McConnell, who just basically froze a few times. Then you have Senator Feinstein, who was out of the job for almost 3 months because of health concerns. So even with term limits in place, it might not really kind of get past part of the physical ailments that could possibly plague some of these congressmen and women.
Well, I was at lunch yesterday. Republican senators came together for lunch yesterday, and Senator McConnell said he's healthy, so you have to take him at his word. But I believe term limits will solve the problem, because, you know, people, you know, not going to be up here as long, and they'll be focused on getting something done the short time they're up here.
All right. Senator Scott, thank you so much for joining us today. We
be
covered a lot of topics. I know you're working very hard to get some help and relief down here for Florida, so we do appreciate your time joining us live from Washington today. Thank you.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
You too.